I'm starting to record. Thank you, Toastmasters, distinguished club sponsors, mentors, distinguished guests from our fellow Toastmaster clubs, and everyone who is present in today's meeting. I will be your Toastmaster of the day, helping to anchor the meeting, introduce the role players, introduce the speakers, followed by evaluators, and conclude the meeting. I've shared the agenda of today's meeting. This is our club's second meeting after we chartered on March of 28th. We had the first meeting in April, and this is our second meeting in May. Going forward, we will have 2 meetings per month starting June. I would like to welcome all of you once again as a member and as an attendee to this meeting. And I would like to introduce the meeting role players who have volunteered to help an efficient meeting today. Karuna Gandhi from MECA UAE Club has volunteered to be a grammarian. Let's all give a big round of applause to Karuna. Thank you for volunteering. Karuna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mr. Harihara, for this kind introduction. Hello, everyone. I am from MECA UAE Club, and this is my first opportunity to be part of the Toastmasters Club. Just like everyone here, I am looking forward to learn from this team and grow myself as a person in my personal and my professional life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karuna. She'll be our grammarian of the day, and she'll be watching for grammatical errors, any misuse of verbs or adjectives in speakers' speeches, and she will be giving a report at the end of the meeting when I call for a report. A timer of the day, I'll be doing the timer of the day as a dual player. I see that Manish is able to get the Toastmaster cards. Am I right, Manish?
Yeah.
So are you prepared to volunteer for a timer for the today?
Yeah, I'll be playing the role of timer.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So Manish from MECA APAC Toastmasters will be volunteering as timer of the day. Manish, thank you for volunteering. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Hari, for such introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Manish Goyal from India. I'm chartered accountant by profession, and today I'm happy to attend MECA Global Toastmaster meeting. Over to you, Hari.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. With that, I would like to check in if Martin Kiraguri is here.
Yes, I'm here, Hari.
Thank you, Martin. I would like to welcome Martin, who will be playing as our counter. Martin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Martin, coming in from Ethiopia. And even as I volunteer as the counter, I also hope to improve on the same. So look forward to this. Thank you, Hari.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you. For those attendees who are not speaking, kindly be on mute. Martin will be watching out for the filler words and any transition words. If we are overusing it, he will be monitoring that, and he will be providing a report towards the end of our meeting when I call upon. I would like to welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, one of our club sponsor and DTM, who is an experienced Toastmasters. It's a privilege to have him with us today, guiding us on how we can improve on our speeches, how we can improve as our club, and apply best practices from his experience. It's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished DTM and a distinguished club sponsor, Bruce Ford, to the meeting. Bruce, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. It's a real pleasure to be here today. I'm looking forward to seeing today's meeting. This is my first time sitting in, and I look forward to future meetings with you as well. The Toastmaster experience is always something to really enjoy. There's so much to share and so much to gain from these encounters. We learn by doing, of course, and there are no failures here. We always have an opportunity to practice and become our best possible selves in each of these sessions. So today is no exception. My role today as the general evaluator is to monitor the meeting, to watch how the various aspects of the meeting are conducted and handed off, and to give a report at the appropriate time during today's meeting. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster today.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Bruce. Thank you. With that, we are on time to start our icebreaker speeches. Are we ready to break the ice? From Canada, from UK, from Ethiopia, from Dubai, and from APAC, all across the globe, let's break the ice. It's a pleasure to welcome our first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Usman Mansoor. Usman, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Usman will be delivering his first icebreaker speech today, and I request our distinguished evaluator, Bruce, to be evaluator for Usman's speech. With that, Usman, the stage is yours.
When I was 7 years old, I distinctly remember my dad said something to me, which I think had profound influence on my life to come. My dad said at that time that, son, whatever you do in life, make sure you have an impact. It can be, you can be cleaning the streets as a janitor, or you could be the CEO of the biggest company in the world. Whatever that role is, son, make sure that you leave an impact. You stand away from the crowd and you don't get lost within that crowd. As a 7-year-old, I remember, I think that changed my life forever. My thought process, my decision-making, my life's aspiration as a 7-year-old were not the same anymore. Dear Mr. Toastmaster, dear fellow Toastmasters, it's a pleasure to be speaking to you today to introduce myself. The first icebreaker speech, and thank you for giving me this platform on Global Toastmasters on the MECA platform to be talking to you today. Hopefully, which I hope to become a very fruitful learning experience for myself and for all of us together as we embark on this great journey to make sure that we become great impactors in every life profession, wherever we are. So, as I was saying, that the biggest goal for me has always been how do I step away from the crowd? How do I make my purpose felt? How do I impact wherever I am? And if I think about my life, my 32-year-old life so far, I think there are two very distinct aspects, two very distinct phases. The first was when I was studying as a child, through schooling, through university. That drive, that purpose that I have to become someone, I have to achieve something. I think that led for me to excel in all everything to do with academics. Basically, I was first in my class. I was best in anything which I did at school. I went to London School of Economics, which is one of the best universities to go to study accounting and finance. But I think academics was a very individual contribution was required as far as someone is in academics. You know, you work hard, you get the results, you're able to excel, and you're able to see the difference. But I think as I was stepping into the second phase of my life, which is when I started working, I realized that all of a sudden, the life changes completely. You're no longer an individual contributor. To make an impact, to have a purpose in life, you need to work with people around you. It's no longer how much effort, how much time, how much dedication, how much intelligence you have as a person, but rather how you can bring everyone together and work together as a team. And I think I remember distinctly when I was looking for my first job, the biggest sort of setback came at that time when I was looking for a job to start my ICAW qualification, and I was getting rejection for all of the big four firms at that time. And I thought to myself that, where is all that motivation and excellence which I was so used to in the first sort of 20 years of my life? Where has that disappeared all of a sudden? And I think that taught me a different lesson, a second lesson, that it's about getting up and trying again and again and again, and keeping up with that effort. So with that experience, the next phase of my life began, and I've been working now for the last 10 years in the UK in various organizations, in different roles, trying to make an impact, trying to find my purpose, looking for how do I learn both as an individual, grow my career, and then again, have an impact on the society. So with finding that purpose, I have recently relocated back to my home country, Pakistan, to start a tech startup, which has been growing massively in Pakistan, to help grow their finance function and bring the expertise from UK to my home country. And I'm hopeful that this experience in public speaking and becoming a persuasive influencer is the key aspect to future growth and development. So with that, looking forward to learning from all of you to improve each day. Thank you so much for listening, and hopefully speak to you soon. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause to our Toastmaster Usman for breaking the ice for us. What a wonderful speech. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. It's a quote from Robert Bryan. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. And what a way, with your speech, you reminded us the power of finding a purpose in each of us. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Usman. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce our second speaker of the day and our MECA Global Officer, Tasveer, to our stage. Tasveer Ahmed Khan, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tasveer.
I would like to ask you, how many of you belong to a small village and do not come from a bigger city? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, my name is Tasveer Ahmed Khan. I'm working as a finance manager with a global company in Dubai, though physically I have moved to Toronto, Canada for the past 5 years. Today, I'm going to tell you about my journey, educational journey to where I am today. Unlike most of you, I belong to a small village of a small city in Pakistan. Such places generally lack opportunities for learning and development. Having a bachelor degree from such a remote area was an achievement. But this achievement turned to a challenge for me once I qualified as a bachelor degree. Because people in general from my village and my family in specific would think of me, why don't I do some job since I'm such a highly educated person? Challenge which I was facing, where there were opportunities, I had no reference, and where I lived, there were no opportunities. After a lot of struggle, I managed to get a job in Lahore and was very happy with that. Not many days after my joining, a couple of colleagues asked me, Tasveer Saab, what is your education? And I, being a highly educated person of my village, proudly said BCom. Those colleagues suddenly replied, only BCom. After that, there was complete silence. I felt a slap on my face. I had intentions to study further, but after that incident, it turned to my conviction that I must study further if I want to grow. I thought of doing chartered accountancy, but one of my friends discouraged me, saying that this is very difficult, and moreover, you don't have time if you continue with this job. To test the waters, I started with FPFA, which is a small version of chartered accountancy. Studying FPFA was not easy because of the time challenges, little time left of the job, and other things, sleepless nights, etc. Compared to my class, I did well, and I passed.
Nothing.
Start him.
नहीं इसने करा 5 मरतबा.
I passed it. It gave me a lot of confidence. At that moment, I decided that it's not other people who can give you best advice about your future. You have to decide and choose the future you want and you deserve. Today, when I learn sayings from Peter Drucker, Abraham Lincoln, the best way to predict the future is to create it.
That's where you need to come back on off mute.
Okay. Thank you, Usman. After FPFA, I started ACCA, but then I decided that evening classes are not fit for me if I have to continue my job. I developed a habit of self-study and continued ACCA. It was very useful for me. While what I was learning, I could practice in my job without any coaching, without any classes from an institute. I was able to qualify ACCA. My confidence got further boost after that. And habit of self-study continued. I did CIA from US, BSc, and MSc from UK, and recently chartered accountancy from ICAW. This journey taught me 2 lessons. One, you are the best person to create your future. Other people can never give you best advice and never let others to decide the future. You decide the future you want to create and you want to live. Second, dedication is the single most important ingredient in your success. And I can rely to this single ingredient for success, whatever I have today. I will suggest you to try these 2 ingredients for whatever endeavors you do in your life. And I can trust that you will have success in whatever you do today. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tasveer. Let's give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Tasveer for the icebreaker speech. What an inspiring speech. If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for your passion will lead you right into your purpose, by Bishop T.D. Jakes. With that, it's my pleasure to check in first if Mohammad Asif is on the call. Mohammad Asif, are you available? Okay, we'll get on to the next speaker. Our next speaker will be one of our MECA Global Toastmaster Officer, Secretary of our club, Toastmaster Sabine Ishtiaq. Sabine, welcome to the stage.
Hi, everybody can hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so first of all, I'm really thankful to all of you, the Toastmaster people here who are taking their time off, especially Harry and all people in North America. It's 7 and we are here to listen everybody. So I'm not taking a lot of your time, so we'll just dive in the subject. So a lot of people probably know me through Salim CFO, CFO program and his communication program, but I will just give you a little brief of my introduction. So my name is Sabine Edikstiak and I am CA and ACCA, having 10 years of experience, 5 years working with EY, PwC, MNP in Canada, and the rest of the 5 years I work in multiple positions, including finance manager in CPG industry, CIBC, the banking industry, and the other rest of and also work as a SOX officer. And right now I'm working as in a racing and gaming industry in North America. So that's a little introduction about myself, but that introduction is not quite enough. So I will just share one of my experience that is really, really connected with my topic today. And a few years back, I went on pilgrimage on my request of my mom. And at the end of the pilgrimage, what I felt is like, am I doing a right thing? Is this a purpose of my life? Am I doing a right things in life? And it's really, really stuck me as I feel like somebody punched me and wake me from the deep sleep that I don't know maybe who I am. And is this a purpose or is this a really meaning of my life? And I still sometimes question again and again, am I doing this is my role or not? So a lot of people, like everybody wants to like find their purpose, something to connect them, something to really, really satisfy them. But only few people know their purpose. And one study suggests in US only 25% people actually know their purpose and 75% still not. They are still struggling to find out who they are and what is their purpose of life. So the question is, what does purpose actually looks like? This is a little tricky thing and most people misunderstood and look not looking in the right things. So for example, I will share one example. Imagine a one successful businessman lives by beach having a great family, but day in and day out he still feel deep down not satisfied, unhappy. And he created the successful life, he's making money, but it's still something is missing. So what actually went wrong? He created a big idea for him and he that was his crave for. So a lot of people still think that purpose is a cliche or a myth or a fantasy, but it's wrong. It's it is a real thing. And I will just give you one example. So what is looks like, what a purpose is. It's a completely abstract thing. It's an intangible thing that could be a goal, that your journey, that your calling or a feeling to have. Imagine a one lady, she's painting the kid's book and she doesn't know what she's doing. But slowly and gradually, she finds out the pattern, the hidden pattern, and she finds out why I'm doing it, what my painting is create an impact. Is it uplifting myself? It is actually something I'm giving back to my community. She probably can do a whole lifetime, but today the purpose is uplifting herself, and tomorrow she can be a great artist who can share her work with the community. So there is another myth that the purpose is only a one thing, that have you can have a one purpose, but that's not. Every day, every point of time in life, the purpose can change. It depends who we are. It depends the behind the reason, right? So let it be clear, like this is not a one thing we are living for. It can change. It may change time to time, depend on your reason. So before, and I just want to share quickly that three question, how we are going to find out that what is my purpose. So like after the meeting, you guys can be really, really honest with yourself while answering all these questions. So the question one is, what do you love to do? Just write down three things that you genuinely love, you genuinely care, and you really enjoy doing that. It could be anything. There is no wrong answers of any of three questions. Number two, what do you do the things you love? Sorry, why do you do the things you love? challenge yourself. Just two things, just write it down why I am doing it and challenge yourself. And like it could be like a creative thing that you are building it, you are drawing it, or you're creating it. That like I'm pretty positive you will get to know the repetitive patterns of yourself that you probably don't know, right? And the third question is what impacts your favorite thing can have. It could uplift yourself, it could be uplifting your community against how it impacts others, and and it could be like positively influence yourself again, and it will be more valuable important thing. So again, I'm just summarizing, it's challenge yourself, discover the patterns in yourself. Why do you love those things? What is the meaning behind these repetitive patterns, right? That will be your calling, that will, beside the money, that will bring a real happiness in your life. So find any hobby that that could be your calling, and that may become your purpose of your life. That's all. Thanks.
Let's give a big round of applause to our Toastmaster Sabine. Progress leads to purpose. Pursuit of purpose leads to progress. So if you are not yet sure of your purpose, head in that direction, and purpose will reveal itself increasingly day by day. I repeat, progress leads to purpose. Pursuit of purpose leads to progress. So if you are not yet sure of your purpose, head in that direction, and purpose will reveal itself increasingly day by day. With that, I request Rajesh Karupasamy to be the evaluator for our next speaker of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa Ali, who is our Sergeant-at-Arms of our MECA Global Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Mustafa, welcome to the stage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Toastmaster Hari, to give me this opportunity to share a few thoughts. Just like Sabine, I'm in Canada, bright, chilly morning. You can't believe, even it's sunny outside, but it's extremely cold today. At the end of May, this is what Canada is. You could get a warm day or a cold day. It's both ways. So as you all know, I don't have to repeat. Name is Mustafa. I'm a finance professional as well. Did my chartered accountancy from Pakistan, Pricewaterhouse, worked in Deloitte and Touche, IBM, moved to Canada many years ago, many moons ago. Worked in, I would say, very diverse. I was blessed to have the opportunity to work in many diverse industries across throughout my career, including CPG, worked with Pepsi, worked with many different asset management companies, and have been very blessed. A few years ago, my wife and I decided to embark on a different journey of entrepreneurship. And this is where we moved from the traditional conventional job setting into more owning a business. She started on her marketing journey. I started on my finance consulting. And this is where we started to see better results, better control of our time and money as well. My predecessor speakers, Usman said that, Sabine said that, and Tasveer also mentioned, it started to feel like we are creating a positive impact in people's lives. I'm so blessed to be in this Toastmaster today, that I feel that, yes, this is an opportunity where we have the opportunity to create an impact. I would echo what Sabine just said. I would recommend reading a book that I was just reading. The book is called Making Accountable Decisions. I don't know if you see it otherwise, but this is the title of the book, Making Accountable Decisions. And this is how this book reads. We become what we become because of what we believe and decisions we make. Our beliefs drive our decisions, and our decisions dictate our results and the legacy we leave. So this is a beautiful start of the book that I read, and I'm like, yes, I can share this. And then it also goes, not deciding what to do or how to act in a given situation is in itself a decision. So as you can see, our decisions determine our legacy, and we were all talking about impact and all that. And this is what I encourage all my friends and my team members. Describe what your future looks like. If you're the person who'd like to create an impact, like to leave a legacy, like to do something, describe what your future state is. Future state is where one should live. And this is where I talk about setting what I call goals in life. As Hari had mentioned in the agenda as well, the real value of setting goals is not the recognition or reward. It's the person we become by finding the discipline, courage, and commitment to achieve. So set up goals. Have something in mind that this is where I like to be. Like I would echo what Usman said. It was my dream to create an impact. This is why I left that, say, comfort life of UK, moved back to Pakistan and started working with a startup, creating an impact. That entrepreneurial pursuit, I believe that this man has in himself. So my encouragement to you is set smart goals. Coming from finance background, and I believe all of us are finance professionals, we all know that all companies that we work with create what we call budget. Budget is what? Budget is a goal of the company, and that's what they follow and produce numbers month after month. We always look at, hey, what's the actual versus budget? And if you all remember from our tax laws, a company is a person. So if a company is to set goals, a person has to set goals too for their lives, right? Simple as that. So set smart goals. Smart goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and has to have a timeline attached to it. If there is no timeline attached to it, it's not a goal. As we call it in Urdu or Hindi, it's golmaal. So please make sure that your goals are actually realistic, achievable with the time. I hope I added some value to all of you this morning. I'm done. Thank you.
Give a big round of applause to our Toastmaster Mustafa for his first icebreaker speech. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why, by Mark Twain. I repeat, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why, by Mark Twain. All the four speakers who had delivered their speech so far exuberated what purpose in life means to all of us and how important it is to act as a guidepost throughout our life. I would like to quickly check in three other speakers who are scheduled or on the call or not. Toastmaster Yasser, Toastmaster Muhammad Asif, Toastmaster Muzir Moidin, Toastmaster Kashif Hussain. All right. So given that we had four excellent speeches today, and after evaluation, we will have some few more minutes, I request our distinguished Toastmaster Club sponsor, Toastmaster Bruce, to take upon few minutes at the end as part of his general evaluator session to give us knowledge on best practices that we can apply as a club in terms of giving effective feedbacks. So after you are done with your feedbacks for Toastmaster Usman Mansoor and Toastmaster Tasveer, we will have Rajesh Karupaswamy giving evaluation for Toastmaster Sabine and Toastmaster Mustafa. When you get back your reins as general evaluator, please add a few more minutes and give us your guidance and information of how all of us can be better evaluators. Can I request that to you, Toastmaster? Bruce?
Yes, that'll be fine. I budgeted time this morning to make sure I can cover this meeting, so that'll be quite okay.
Fantastic, thank you. So with that, without further ado, I would hand over the stage to you as a general evaluator for you to call upon your evaluators on the TAC team. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Thank you for the wonderful handoff as well. As the general evaluator and also as Toastmaster today, we can't do our job without our effective leadership team, which consists of several people. That happens to be the counter, the grammarian, the timer, and also I realize this is one of our first few meetings here. We don't even have a topics master today, but that's quite okay. So at this point, I'd like to find out I'd like to do the first call of reports as we normally do what is called the evaluations. Since I am one of the evaluators, I will proceed to do my evaluations of the following three individuals that I had the great opportunity of listening to today. I want to start off at the top by saying this has been a very phenomenal meeting this morning. All of you were well prepared. You showed up and you stepped into this space recognizing that there was a thought, something you want to share with your audience today. All Toastmasters start at the same spot with our very first presentation, which is called the icebreaker. It is typically a 4 to 6 minute presentation in which you get to choose to share something with the team or your fellow club members about yourself or what is important to you in this moment. And each of you succeeded powerfully. So I'll start off with the very first speaker today. That was Taswar. I may not pronounce your names correctly at this moment. Please forgive me, but I'll get better at this. Taswar, I wanted to tell you that, yes.
Toastmaster Bruce, sorry for the interruption. The first speaker was Toastmaster Usman.
Oh, yes, absolutely. My apologies. I write like a doctor sometimes, and I'm looking at my chicken scratch here, and you're absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Usmar, Toastmaster Usmar, I want to thank you for sharing a very wonderful presentation. I like to start off with two things. Normally with the icebreaker, we don't go into a lot of detail as to your implementation of these presentations, but I do want to share with you that number one, you stood up in front of the camera, you were well positioned, you used the camera very well, and you made sure you focused into the camera, giving the illusion that you were looking at us directly. You were well paced throughout. Many of your messages that started off with what your dad suggested to you at 7 years of age was very inspiring, that to stand out in front of the crowd, you must make an impact. And your desire to continue to excel is admirable. And that came through in that time frame in which you shared with us these powerful thoughts. Working with others, developing your emotional intelligence through interacting with others, that you cannot be successful on your own. You need to be part of something larger. That was a very powerful message. And I want to thank you for sharing that with us. Great presentation. And I look forward to you continuing in this line as you move through the other projects that will build upon some of the strengths that you displayed today. It's very important for all of you to realize that at level 3, there are roughly about 5 projects that you will be working through to build some of those skill sets and resources. So great job, Usman. Terrific. I'll move on to the next speaker as well. Taswar, phenomenal job. 2 things. Well-paced, very methodical. Voice modulation was great. And as I said again, the purpose of the icebreaker is not to give you details as to what you should be doing in how you're presenting, but for you to share with us your thoughts. And you gave us some very powerful thoughts about coming from a small village and in spite of those humble beginnings, being determined that and realizing that it's not others who make your future, it is you. You get to choose, you get to decide that when you hand that off to others, you're giving away your power and you choose not to. You choose to retain that power and taking a very powerful step towards your own future, which you believe will impact others. That was a real powerful message and it really resonated with me. I was really excited to hear more, but then of course we had some technical issues, but that's quite all right. We're gonna move through with that. I was very brief in my evaluation, but great job nonetheless. Sabine, I loved your presentation. Great job. all of you had some powerful messages here. I was taking notes very creatively here, and I'm saying to myself, I shouldn't be recording this. I don't normally expect this from an icebreaker, but you took charge of this, and you also indicated that this journey you went on raised a lot of questions in you that continue to this very day. Finding purpose, what is purpose? Recognizing that what we do in this powerful moment is our future. We get to choose our purpose every moment that we breathe in air. I thought that was a real powerful message. You gave us a call to action in which there were 3 things you suggested that we did or we should be doing going forward. And that was also exciting to hear as well. So I'm really excited to see your future speeches as well as I continue to step into this meeting space, because all of you are really inspiring and motivating. And that's part of the Toastmaster experience that we find here, is that, look, we learn and we share our insight through these projects. These projects are not book reports. You can approach them as book reports, but you'll not gain what you need to continue in your journey as successful communicators and as powerful speakers. I see that in each and every one of you, and I want to thank the 3 of you for contributing to today's session. Good job. I think we had another evaluator, or Harry, did you want me to evaluate the last speaker, or was that someone else who was the evaluator for that person?
What I would like to have you is your evaluation for Mustafa as well. And then we will welcome Rajesh to share his evaluation for Sabine and Mustafa from his perspective.
I see. Okay, great. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for sharing that information about what we become because of what we believe. That is one of the most implicit messages I'm always identifying with, is that, look, we all are, there is a common theme in the Toastmaster organization and the members of this club that I see here. We all believe that we can become our best possible selves through consistent, concrete actions. Small steps consistently applied allow us to travel great distances. And in this journey, you can go far by yourself, but you can create more when you share the journey with others. I really enjoyed that message, Mustafa. I also listened to the fact that both you and your spouse decided to become entrepreneurs. I am self-employed myself, and I understand the challenges, the risks, and the fact that when you face and when you step outside your comfort zone, it is scary, it is difficult. But the fact that you do that allows you to recognize your great potential that all of us have. Few of us get to realize those potentials because of that fear that is imagined. And the imagined fear is far greater than the actual experience. And that is also a lesson to be learned. So I enjoyed your presentation. The takeaway from these icebreakers is that they're really a little bit more advanced than they should be at this point. But I got to know a lot more about each and every one of you. So thank you once again. This has been quite a morning for me.
Wow, what a great evaluation feedback. Let's give a big round of applause to our distinguished Toastmaster, Bruce. It's such an honor to have him very early in the morning at 7 a.m. being with us to guide us all along the way. It's an interesting note to note that I talked to Toastmaster Bruce just a couple of days back, and we got connected, and I shared our expectations and the need from our MECA Toastmaster Club members, and bang on, he's there right from our minute of the meeting. So thank you, Toastmaster Bruce, for taking your personal time and standing with us on a Saturday morning and helping us with this progress. So with that, I would like to request Toastmaster Rajesh, who is also a mentor and guide. He's my fellow MBA graduate. We graduated yesterday evening, and so that was a celebration moment for us. So I welcome my friend, my fellow MBA mate, group mate, cohort, Rajesh, and he also works with me in UBS in the firm. So with that, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Rajesh to share a few words for Toastmaster Sabine and Toastmaster Mustafa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hari. And I have to say, I'm going to take some of the points from Bruce because he covered most of the things. Thank you for that, Bruce. You made my evaluation quite easy. And Bruce mentioned, it's a pleasure to be in this morning with this group. I learned a lot of inspiring stories have been shared with us. It's a thank you for that, Hari, for bringing me in. And Sabim, it's a pleasure hearing your speech. You started with a great introduction, and I think because of my technical issues with my internet, it seems to be a little fast for the introduction part alone, and rest of it is quite stable. You had a great pace, and you were sharing a lot of powerful words and something like what does purpose looks like, and it's an intangible, it's a goal, it's a journey, it's continuously evolving. These are so much powerful words that you are sharing to us, and you did that graciously. And a lot of examples have been shared, and the thing that I really liked is you summarizing the idea at the end. That's very much important when it comes to speech. That's what I feel, because we would be speaking a lot, but at the end, if you are going to summarize, the audience can easily grasp those ideas. So it's an awesome speech, and it's a great job, Sam. Thank you. And Mustafa Ali, I'm going to Mustafa Ali, and I don't think like it's an icebreaker, because Mustafa, you made it so easy. You started talking about the climates, making us feel what exactly looks like in your area. So I really loved it, and the classic thing is you come up with a recommendation of a book, making accountable decision and sharing such ideas. So thoughtful about your speech, and thank you for that. And the another thing that I really liked is normally people would set some examples, but you were referring back to the previous speakers and catching those ideas as their example. This is awesome thing. And the other thing that I really liked about your speech is you are giving an example about the budget. Budget itself is a goal for a company. It's so interesting for me, and thank you for that. And great conclusion as well, Mustafa. Great job. Thank you. Back to you, Ari. Ari, you are in mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh, for your evaluation. Toastmaster Bruce, would you like to call upon the grammarian, or you would like me to call them upon?
Sure, as the general evaluator, I'd like to do the call for reports as well. Sure. So for our grammarian, can you please share with us your findings today? Is that Sabine, I believe?
It's Karuna Gandhi.
All right, then please, can you come up and share with us your report for today?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Bruce, for distinguished Toastmaster for today. And thank you for this opportunity to be a grammarian. I have tried my best to give feedback on this. Kindly consider this to be a constructive feedback. Everyone has done an awesome job of delivering the speeches. It was an icebreaker speech, but it certainly came across as a well thought personal journey, and sharing with us has been a great idea. So I'll start with Toastmaster Usman. My observation was that there were repetition of words like aspects, phase in the same sentence. This could have been taken care of. Repetition of words like how much, usage of conjunctions, words like and, because, so were prominent in the speech. The pitch of the voice, which affected the grammatical usage of words, it was quite fluctuating. Sometimes the pitch was quite slow, sometimes the pitch was quite fast, which made the delivery of the speech a bit uneven at times. I believe apart from that, TM Usman had done an awesome job. Thank you so much, TM Usman. Moving forward to Toastmaster Tasveer Ahmed. The pitch was good. The points were clearly presented. It was a well-paced speech, as DTM Bruce Ford mentioned. There were quite a repetition of words, and in the end, I realized that there was a usage of the word will and then corrected by would. So I believe the speech was well prepared and presented, but when it came out, these words got mixed matched. So that's my observation for TM Tasveer. Moving forward to Toastmaster Sabine Ishtiaq. I think it was a very beautifully presented speech. The flow was good. But again, there were repetition of words. The articles a and the at times were not used correctly. Like when we say a lady, it was said one lady. An example, it was spoken as one example. So we can correct on those bits. Why I am doing it, it can be as why am I doing it? The uses of preposition at certain areas like on. And in the end, it was mentioned, I will summarize. It should have been I will summarize and not I am summarizing it. So this is the basic observation that I had. Apart from that, the speech was awesome. For Toastmaster Mustafa Ali, I think it was one of the fantastic speeches today. I tried really hard to find errors. I could not find it. If anyone else has found it, please feel free to give him the feedback about the verb usage or any errors that you may have found out, which I may have not found out. Thank you so much.
Wow, Madam Grammarian, that was an exceptional assessment today. I tell you, all of these roles, the timer roles, the R counter, the grammarian, and so forth, they're very powerful roles, very difficult. And I encourage each and every one of you to step into this space for you can do no wrong. But by practicing these roles, you really begin developing not only your listening skills, but you're also developing new connections within the neuronal centers of your brain, because we tend not to focus in. And when you use these skills, you're reusing muscles. And as you know, when you don't use the muscle, you lose it. But I have to tell you, Toastmaster Karuna, that was a very exceptional presentation today regarding the grammarian role. I really got a lot out of that. Really exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I actually practiced my listening skills today. Thank you.
Once again, good job. At this time, I also like to bring up the R counter. That is Toastmaster Martin. Can you share with us your report, please?
Sure. So I'll start it off with Toastmasters Osman. And generally speaking, for Osman, I would break it down into two parts. The intro combined with the conclusion and the main content. So for the main content, because you really knew what you wanted to share with us, you were very fluent, and I didn't pick up a lot of the and from the main content part of your speech. However, when it came to the intro, and also as you were speaking about being part of the MECA Global Toastmasters, and also being part of having this opportunity to deliver this speech, you seemed a bit overwhelmed, or a bit, I don't know how to put it, and I think you were very happy to actually be part of MECA Global Toastmasters, and that part of being happy about being part of the Toastmasters, and then also trying to deliver your speech. There were quite a number of fillers there, but generally speaking, what I observed and what I loved about your speech was during the content, you were very, very consistent, because I feel like you really prepared for it. So there was no gap in trying to fill what your sentences were meant to be. So that was my general evaluation for you, Osman. But it was very good. Taswir, it was very difficult to pick up because you were very paced. You're very calm and collected. So even when I thought that you were going to put in a filler, you took a break and came out with a very good, you did not generally use that. So that skill of, instead of using a filler, you paused a bit and then came back up again, and that really helped a lot with your speech. And quite frankly speaking, I did not pick up any filler because of that, learning how to exercise that pause whenever you feel like you want to bridge between a sentence and the next one. For Sabine, I loved your speech. And just to be more general about the four of you, it was very difficult to concentrate because you had very good speeches and very inspiring speeches. So I was trying to balance between getting inspired and also counting the arms. But for Sabine specifically, the intro part as well, just like Usman, the intro part as you were speaking about your experience and then how you transitioned all the way to going to the trip that you went to, there was a bit of filler. But then when you got into the main content, which was talking about purpose and challenging us about purpose, you're very consistent and very fluent. So that was what I was able to pick up. And also there was the use of, instead of you used the word to like, do ABCD, to like, do ABCD. So which replaced the Mr. Mustafa Ali, it was as well very difficult to pick up. But again, it is also, I picked from the intro part of it, when you were taking us through your morning and your transition, and when you made the decision with your wife to get into entrepreneurship. It was, I felt that it was more of, since it was a very personal example you were giving, it also seemed to be oozing a lot of passion from you, and trying to juggle between the excitement and the passion that you're feeling very strong about it, to staying consistent with the content that you had prepared. So in between that were some fillers of but generally speaking, the four of you are very good. So, and the only thing that I was able to pick up is during the intros and the conclusion, where you felt the need to share personal experiences. There was a lot of passion was oozing out, which was good because then we could really engage with you. But then in that process, I picked up a lot of arms, but generally speaking, that was good. So thank you for that.
All right. Toastmaster Martin, thank you very much for the counter report. At this time, I'd like to bring up our next report, which is the timer. Toastmaster Manish Goyal, please, can you share with us your times?
Yeah, thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Bruce, for inviting me to present my report on time. Dear fellow Toastmasters, in Toastmasters meeting, we come to learn communication and leadership skills. And leadership skill is incomplete without managing the time. So I'll start with the time taken by each speaker. Today there are 4 speakers. The allotted time is 3 to 5 minutes. And all the speakers have exceeded the time limit, but since this is icebreaker, it is manageable. So let's start with the Usman. Usman took 5 minutes, 22 seconds. Tasbih took 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Sabine took 6 minutes, 19 seconds. Mustafa Ali took 5 minutes, 3 seconds. As far as evaluation is concerned, DTM Bruce did the evaluation for all the speakers, and Bruce took 1 minute 58 seconds for the speech of Usman, 1 minute 6 seconds for the speech of Tasbih, 1 minute 29 seconds for Sabine's speech, and 1 minute 32 seconds for Mustafa's speech. In addition to this, Toastmaster Rajesh did the evaluation of Toastmaster Sabine and Toastmaster Mustafa's speech. For Toastmaster Sabine's speech, Rajesh took 1 minute 30 seconds, and for Mustafa's speech, Rajesh took 58 seconds. And finally, Grammarian took 2 minutes 57 seconds, and our counter Martin took 5 minutes 3 seconds. That's all from my report. Over to you, Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Great job as the timer. Really appreciate that. And at this point, as the general evaluator, it's time for me to give my report. Now, Harry, I'm not gonna, there's a lot of area to cover here, which I will not do today because we only have a finite amount of time. And I don't want to overwhelm the members of this club but I will start off here as a new club. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of lessons to learn here, of course.
So Toastmaster Bruce, sorry to interrupt. Looks like I have another meeting which is supposed to start at 8 o'clock and members are waiting there. So what I would like you to help me with is, I want you to do this takeaway in the next session. As we start, I would like you to give up on this feedback. So we can probably quickly complete with your general evaluator speech, and then we will close the meeting.
Okay, very good. That sounds like a plan. So in other words, I will not give an overview to her at this moment. You just simply want me to kind of like let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do this another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always room for you. Listen, we learn by doing, and as we continue to move in this direction, this club will only become better and proficient in everything we do. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. Great job, everyone. Fantastic meeting overall. Back to you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bruce, and thank you everyone for joining across the globe. I hope it was a valuable session, and we would continue with our next meeting. I'll send the agenda in advance and hope to hear and see all of you soon. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a
so
lot,
much.
everyone. Thank you so much. This was great. I want to take the last 10 seconds, if you allow me. It's Sabine's birthday today. So let's sing happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Sabine.
Yes, I am.
Happy birthday. God bless you always.
Thank
Wanted
you.
to surprise you this morning, but through LinkedIn gave up this. So great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Have a
everyone.
wonderful weekend,
Okay.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.